From NBC News, this is Today.
And we're back with today's beauty. From caked-on concealer to mangled mascara, keeping your makeup together can be difficult, especially when it's hot and sticky in the summertime.
Here to show us the most common makeup mistakes and the secrets to getting us back on track is Jennifer Goldstein, Beauty Director at Prevention Magazine.
Hey,
nice
girl, how are you?
Good, great to be here.
So after all this time, we still make mistakes, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, especially in the summer months.
Okay.
It's hot out, you cake on the mascara, you put too much lip gloss on, and everything starts to melt down.
Let's talk about concealer, because that's a bad one. Let's take a before picture the wrong way. Too much caked on concealer. All right, tell us what's wrong here.
This is Cheryl, and so she uses concealer like a lot of women. They have the same concealer for everything, to cover pimples, to cover blemishes, to go under the eyes. But you know what? When you're doing under your eyes,
yes, I see the arrows.
yeah, it can settle into the fine lines and make you look a little bit older.
Show us the after. Let's look up.
What you want to do is use a creamier concealer instead of the ones in a pot. You know, those tend to be thicker, and then they settle in the lines more.
So use a creamy one, not a powder concealer?
Not a powder, a creamy concealer. And you got to make sure it's the right color. This one from Makeup Forever has 14 shades.
Oh.
A lot of women, they put too light, they put too dark, they keep layering it on, thinking they'll cover. But we taught Cheryl how to use the cream concealer and just dabbing it on under the eyes and pat it in. Don't wipe it. That just wipes off the makeup, and you just
pat.
Okay. And then there's nothing left.
Pat like that. Pat.
I'll pat you in a minute.
All right, so next, before we go to our next model, this is the before picture. Red lips. Now, some people love red lips. You have red lips on today. They look great.
But they're not red. They're kind of muted, you know.
And the thing is, too, if you do red and gloss, then you got a lot going on.
Okay.
Yeah, so the older you get, I think, it
tends to settle in the fine lines and travel.
So this is Lisa before. Show us what you've done to Lisa to make her tamp it down.
Oh, see how pretty that is?
Yeah, it's much softer. We treated that red with the gloss for a rosy gloss balm hybrid, I'm calling it. It's got SPF 15, which is great for the summer. But also
even your lips need that.
Absolutely. But it also has a little bit of shine, but not like that mirror-like tacky finish that's just too much going on.
Yeah. And you don't ever want to draw attention just to one thing, do you? Because if you just do red lips, that's all you see.
Right.
Yeah, and especially if it goes somewhere, then it's really obvious.
Yes.
The older you get, to avoid it.
Not that she's going to smear it, but if she does, it's going to be less noticeable, so it's much more youthful.
You're right.
Our next issue that we have is Runny Mascara. And let's look at Marilee before. So
Marilee.
That happens to me all the time. But should you just get waterproof? I mean, is that really the way to go?
Well, my thing about waterproof is it's usually a thicker formula, so then you load it on the lashes, and it starts to drag your eyes down at the outer corners.
Okay.
So what we did with Marleya is we took an eyeliner and sort of wiggled it in between her lashes to define the lash line naturally.
Pretty.
So that gives you the definition. And then we went with this Blinc Mascara, which is like lengthening and darkening. It creates those little tubes on your lashes. It's easy to
Natalie
take off.
loves that.
Yes,
she's the one who told us about that.
And it makes her eyes look a lot more open and wider. It's a much more youthful look.
Good girl.
Thank you, honey. Lastly,
you.
let's look at Mary Beth's before picture and tell us what she's doing wrong here.
Okay, Mary Beth was using what a lot of people do, and they take the beige blushes, the tawny, roses, bricky, that kind of color. So we wanted to show her that a bright blush isn't scary. A lot of women are scared of these bright colors like pink.
Yeah, I don't use them. I'm afraid of them very much.
That looks great. It's very creamy. It just kind of melts away, right?
Yeah, it's a cream blush. And the other thing we did is a lot of women take and make a stripe in the hollow of the cheek, like back and forth, back and forth. We just dabbed it on the upper cheekbone.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you so
Great
much.
job, ladies. Thanks, ladies.
Next up, how to love your neighbor.
Oh, yes. We do that anyway.